Right now, on the border between Sudan and Chad, a catastrophic humanitarian crisis is unfolding. And the thing is, it's being almost completely ignored by the rest of the world. So today, we're going to unpack what's happening, get to the bottom of why this is all collapsing, and see how a crisis that feels a world away could very soon be on everyone's doorstep. Just listen to this from Charlotte Leak. She's a UN aid worker right there on the front lines. Her words really capture that feeling of profound helplessness as the very system designed to save lives just starts to crumble. You know, this isn't just about numbers, it's about real people. And the scale? It is just staggering. We are talking about more than 1.2 million refugees who have fled the civil war in Sudan. And where did they go? They're seeking safety in Chad, which is one of the poorest countries in the world. So you have a nation that's already struggling, now shouldering one of the biggest humanitarian burdens on the planet. So what does life actually look like for these 1.2 million people? Well, inside these sprawling camps, the most basic systems that support human life, the stuff we all take for granted, are failing. Every single day has become a desperate fight just to survive.
And it all starts with the most fundamental need there is, water. See, because the funding is drying up, aid organizations are being forced to pack up and leave. And that leaves people with literally no choice but to drink from whatever they can find. Open ponds, shallow, contaminated pits, you name it.
So, what do you think happens next? When you have hundreds of thousands of people forced to drink filthy water, the consequence is as predictable as it is tragic.
Cholera. For the very first time this year, Chad is having a cholera outbreak. It's a horrible disease that spreads like wildfire in these conditions, and it kills. Officials have already confirmed hundreds of cases and, sadly, numerous deaths, and everyone is just living in fear of a full-blown epidemic. And it's not just the water, it's everything. A total system failure. Just look at these numbers. People are getting only 7.6 liters of water a day. That's half the bare minimum standard for survival. There's a single latrine for every 114 people. Food rations have been slashed, with families waiting months for their next meal. And schools? They're closing down, just extinguishing the hopes of an entire generation.
But here's the thing you have to understand. This isn't a natural disaster. It's not an earthquake or a hurricane. This is a man-made crisis. So why are these life-saving services just disappearing? To find the answer, we have to follow the money.
Okay, so this right here really gets to the heart of the problem. After hitting a peak in 2022, global humanitarian aid has been drastically cut. Donor countries, they're facing their own economic pressures, their priorities are shifting, and so they're scaling back funding. This is creating a massive shortfall. At the exact moment, the needs are absolutely exploding.
And to really put this into perspective, just look at this comparison. As one director at the UNHCR explained it, back in 2015, the world had about 58 million displaced people. Today, that number has more than doubled to over 117 million.
And here's the real gut punch. We are now trying to help twice as many people with the exact same amount of money we had back in 2015. The math just doesn't work. It's impossible. And the consequences of that are being felt every single day on the ground in places like Chad.
Now, I know this can feel like a really distant problem, something happening on the other side of the world, but experts are warning us, it's not. The collapse of aid in a region this fragile is going to have consequences that will ripple right across the globe.
In fact, policy experts are calling the situation in eastern Chad a ticking time bomb. Think about it. This massive influx of refugees is pouring into a country that is already one of the poorest on Earth, and it's facing its own political instability. This is creating an insane amount of pressure, and it's threatening the stability of the entire region.
And this is the domino effect that officials are desperately trying to warn us about. When the aid collapses, desperate people don't just disappear, they move again. They have to survive. Many will head north, trying to reach North Africa and then Europe. And that creates a whole new migration crisis, one that will ultimately be way more complex and far more expensive to manage.
And if you're thinking, hey, this sounds kind of familiar, well, you're right, it should. As one expert points out, we've seen this exact playbook before. Back in 2013, aid to Syria was cut. The region destabilized, and very soon after, Europe faced a massive influx of refugees. We are risking an exact repeat of history. So as we wrap this up, let's pull back from the geopolitics and bring it back to the people, because at the end of the day, they are the ones who are paying the true cost of these decisions.
These aren't just statistics. These are human stories. People like Masada, a 17-year-old who dreamed of becoming a doctor, but now her school is gone. Or Salah, who survived a fire that killed 10 people, and is now living under a tree with severe burns and no medicine. Or Sahani, the engineer who was responsible for the water systems. He lost his job in the budget cuts, leaving tens of thousands of people with no safe water.
And this brings us to the final, unavoidable question. The world is trying to save money right now by cutting this aid. But when you really factor in the cost of disease, of regional instability, of future mass migration, you have to ask, is what we're saving today really worth the much, much higher price we will all inevitably pay tomorrow?